May have seen a couple of good South Korean movies like the run-up in the action movie called Han from 2022, while the second one is almost just as good as Mission Impossible Fallout. But this movie from 2017 called Akira is far from a range of those two movies, and it must be seen as one of the worst South Korean movies ever made, from the director called Bong Joon-ho that soon will give us the movie Mickey 17. So why is it such a bad movie? First and foremost, the comedy is really abysmal, and the movie feels highly salad in a lot of the moments, but also generally throughout it feels like a movie that is created more for children rather than adults. Especially, it is also kind of messy with this cringe music right in the middle of the action scenes with the Animal Liberation Front that does not want to use violence. Furthermore, you could also see that when they are running wild behind a super pig in the office room, that it is filmed in a very bad way that robs you of the entertainment, and it once again just looks cringe from the director. The second point we need to talk about is the characters played by Tilda Swinton that plays a double role in these two twins during the movie. In this double role, she once again shows how she is a weak actor. Miles of the Forest, done by Tom Hardy, that plays two great brothers in the movie Legend from 2015. Of course, he naturally manages to be more nervous and insecure in the one role and more confident and badass in the other. Nonetheless, it is not a stellar performance, and her casting is actually more a problem in the movie rather than a good solution, just like in the Killer movie from 2023. Thirdly, we need to talk about the concept of super pigs, which certainly is an interesting concept, but in this movie it never really hooks you in. The way it is presented on the big screen with this big production style stuff, it really does not look good. It feels more like a strange futuristic weird style thing that easily could have been avoided. That's of course one of the reasons why this movie does not feel good. Maybe you also could have seen more of the super pigs rather than just one of the super pigs, and then you might have been hooked more on the story. Moreover, the only real shining light in the movie is this crazy super pig news reporter played by Jake Gyllenhaal that does a credible performance in the movie, much better than the other actors. He manages to be dead crazy in the heat and takes on a very interesting role, but sadly, he is more in a support role during this movie and lastly does not have a lot of screen time. Another problem with the movie comes down to the deep emotional vibe that settles on most of the movie, and while the talks between the grandpa and the kid may be traditional Asian family talk, those scenes are not that entertaining. You are simply bored in a lot of the movie. I do also feel that by making this kid trying to save Super Pig the main character, they do take a lot of chances. You may say that this is an eat the rich kind of thing, the arrogance of the rich versus the humble souls of the people, but that does not mean that the movie could not have had a better main character or have been done in a better way. Like that Panda movie with Jackie Chan called Panda Plan, where you see a movie with much better comedy, tension, and action that actually looks like this movie, but it is done in a better way. Then you might say that the CGI in this one is better, the way you see this super pig close up, but that does not necessarily constitute for a good movie. If you only make the CGI look good, then in addition, you instead fail to make the other elements of the movie good. Generally, the movie fails on way too many parameters to be a good movie. It fails to entertain, it fails to have good comedy, and it fails to build the concept in a good way before the movie. You think, well, super pigs, that sounds like a nice concept, but why not show more of the reason behind it? More of the super pigs. More of how the rich tries to fool people into eating this kind of meat. Instead of this deep focus on the little girl, her relationship with the super pig, the Animal Liberation Front, and the failed way of trying to bring them into the comedy. Then for me, this movie is a 4 out of 10, and clearly one of the worst South Korean movies ever made.